The tension in Cleveland has reached a boiling point. Kevin Stefanski's decision-making, already under fire, took center stage once again as the Browns dismantled the Miami Dolphins in what should have been a victory that unified the fan base. Instead, it sparked outrage and confusion. The game wasn't close. Quinshon Judkins had already dominated the field, running through Miami's defense like a freight train, scoring 3 touchdowns and sealing the win long before the final whistle. Yet even with the Browns holding a commanding lead and the clock winding down, Stefanski made a choice that left fans shaking their heads. He refused to put in Shador Sanders. For weeks, Stefanski has been hyping up Sanders, praising his growth, his preparation and his maturity. Fans had been waiting for that moment, the chance to see what the young quarterback could do when the pressure was low, and the opportunity to gain valuable reps was right there for the taking. But when the perfect window opened late in the fourth quarter, Stefanski looked the other way. As the cameras panned to the Browns sideline, you could see him smiling, even laughing alongside Dylan Gabriel, the same quarterback who'd been struggling all night to stay on his feet under Miami's defensive pressure. It was more than just a coaching decision. It felt personal. Insiders close to the Browns organization have started whispering that Stefanski's attachment to Gabriel runs deeper than performance. He handpicked Gabriel in the 3rd round, defending that decision from day one. That investment, emotional and professional, seems to be clouding his judgment. When Gabriel takes the field, Stefanski beams like a proud parent. But when Sanders is mentioned, the coach tightens up, his enthusiasm fading to silence. To many, it's starting to look like favoritism that could be holding back the Browns' future. Even veteran analysts have called Stefanski out for his baffling inaction. Ken Carman, a prominent Browns insider, pointed out that with 9 minutes left in the game and a 25-point lead, the coach had every reason to test Sanders. The outcome was already decided. There was no risk of losing control. 5 minutes under center could have given Sanders a taste of NFL speed, a small but crucial step in his development. But Stefanski didn't budge. He left him glued to the bench, helmet in hand, eyes forward, waiting for a call that never came. And that's where the frustration really started to boil. Fans at the stadium began chanting for Sanders, their voices echoing through the cold Cleveland air. They wanted to see their young quarterback, Deion Sanders' son, take the field and prove that the hype around him wasn't misplaced. But Stefanski ignored them. The chants grew louder, turning into jeers as Gabriel threw incomplete passes and struggled under pressure. By the 4th quarter, it wasn't just disappointment, it was embarrassment. Gabriel's performance wasn't disastrous, but it was far from convincing. He was sacked multiple times, failed to convert key downs, and relied heavily on the running game to save him. Judkins carried the team on his back while Gabriel simply tried to stay afloat. And yet, Stefanski seemed determined to protect him. Analysts later pointed out that it wasn't just poor coaching. It was a decision that undermined the entire organization. If your team's future rests on developing young talent, why refuse to give that talent the chance to grow? Meanwhile, the image of Stefanski laughing on the sidelines as Gabriel jogged off the field sent social media into a frenzy. "He's turning the Browns into Jerry Springer," one fan wrote. Another added, "He's making a mockery of this team." The sentiment was clear. This wasn't about football anymore. It was about pride, politics, and control. Fans weren't celebrating the win. They were questioning the direction of the franchise. Even Skip Bayless weighed in, suggesting that Stefanski might be deliberately avoiding the media circus that would erupt if Shador Sanders stepped onto the field. According to Bayless, Stefanski knows that every move Sanders makes would be magnified under the national spotlight. The moment he takes a snap, headlines would explode, analysts would dissect every throw, and the pressure would shift entirely onto the rookie's shoulders. And maybe, just maybe, Stefanski doesn't want to deal with that. He wants to protect his locker room from the distractions that come with a high-profile player like Sanders. But that explanation doesn't sit well with the fans, or the experts. Protecting a player from the spotlight is one thing. Denying him a fair shot is another. And if a coach is making decisions based on fear of media attention rather than football merit, then something's seriously wrong. Sanders is a young quarterback with poise under pressure, a strong arm, and the ability to make plays out of nothing. He's the kind of talent you nurture, not hide. Stefanski's critics argue that his refusal to give Sanders those final minutes wasn't about strategy. It was about ego. By keeping him sidelined, Stefanski retained full control of the narrative. He avoided questions, dodged comparisons, and kept the focus on Gabriel, his chosen project. But that choice may have cost the Browns more than they realize. When players see a coach playing favorites, when they see opportunity denied for reasons that don't make sense, it erodes trust. And in a league built on teamwork and belief, that kind of fracture can be fatal. Even the locker room, sources say, is beginning to sense the tension. Some players reportedly believe Sanders has earned the right to prove himself. His work ethic, his leadership in practice, his composure, they've all impressed the veterans. But the coach's silence is sending a message. It doesn't matter how ready you are. If you're not his guy, you're not getting in. As the dust settles on another Browns victory that feels oddly hollow, questions about the team's future continue to swirl. Is Dylan Gabriel really the quarterback to lead Cleveland forward? Or is he just holding the spot until the inevitable happens and Sanders takes over? And when that moment finally comes, will Stefanski even be the one making the call? Because one thing's certain, Cleveland fans won't stay patient forever. They've seen this story before. Coaches clinging to their favorites while the next great talent rots on the bench. They're tired of potential wasted and promises unfulfilled. They want action. They want to see the fire that made the city fall in love with football in the first place. And they believe Shador Sanders could be that spark. So maybe the real question isn't whether Stefanski was right or wrong in that single game. Maybe it's about what kind of leader he really is. Is he the kind of coach who plays scared, who hides from the noise and protects his own image? Or the kind who embraces the challenge and trusts his players to rise to it? Now it's your turn. Was Kevin Stefanski right to keep Shador Sanders on the bench, protecting him from media chaos and outside pressure? Or did he make a mistake that could stunt the development of a quarterback with enormous potential? Should the Browns have used that comfortable lead to give their young star the reps he deserves? And what does this say about the future of Cleveland football if politics and pride outweigh performance? Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more in-depth sports stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update.